And welcome back to By George from Page to Stage, the weekly podcast with myself, Matt Ogden, and Mr. Rich Sykes. And today we are two pricks on the side of one lovely rose. So
isn't that nice?
We are joined today by our leading lady, Nicci Cooney, who's playing Pauline in the show. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
She's terrified. She's absolutely terrified.
I told her I'd get her.
No, she's been avoiding this podcast since we started, but I'm absolutely thrilled that she's with us now. But what we've just done, just to put this into context, is we've just sorted out what keys we're going to be singing things in. We haven't had to move a great deal, just a couple up and down, wasn't it? And a lot to do with the violinist as well. So I can't wait. We're ready to rock and roll now.
Awesome. And we're going to see a little bit of that footage today, hopefully, as well, aren't we? We're going to see a little bit of Nicci in action, if she's okay with that.
Of course she is.
So, Nicci, tell us about yourself. What's your background and who are you as an unknown performer to some of these newer audiences?
Right, oh gosh, right, well, I started doing shows when I was at school, and met our wonderful Rich at the Kirklees Youth Performing Arts Company.
Yeah, it's called Kipak. It was a really good breeding ground. It's where both of us really met Neil and got to know him, who's directing the show as well.
Yeah. And worked sort of with quite a few societies in Huddersfield.
We've got to name them, haven't we? You did some with, was it Longwood?
Longwood, yeah. Woodhouse, of course.
Yeah.
Huddersfield Light Opera.
But when we were at that time, we just kept going and going. You didn't say no to a show. You just rolled from one to the other.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But did you feel that it just got an awful lot too much? Because we were doing not 2 societies a year. It was 3 because we had Kirklees Youth Performing Arts doing over the summer as well. So I'm sure there were years when you and I were doing 4 shows.
Yeah.
So how old are you guys at this point?
I would be...
they're not now.
I'm not telling you my age now.
Some numbers.
I would never admit to being 48.
Well, I wasn't quite youth. I was probably into my 20s, I think.
I was too.
Yeah.
Okay.
23, something like that.
Yeah.
So this is pre like marriage, kids, or career, like kind of progression. It's very much kind of you're still quite young, and you're kind of making your way through the societies, doing 3 shows a year. What was the kind of standout shows that you did? What sticks out in the memory?
I did.
My standout show for you was Hot Mikado, but we did it together, so that's probably it.
Yeah.
Did you do Annie Get Your Gun?
I did Annie Get Your Gun.
God, that was great.
I did Calamity. I did quite a few of those kind of that era type show.
Yeah.
But also the leading ladies in those are very... well, that's my beautiful. And you had that pep and that power, real stage dominance, didn't you? It was wonderful to see. Yeah. In Hot Mikado, you played the cow, didn't you? Was it Katisha?
Katisha, yeah.
Wow, you were good.
She had some belters, didn't she?
Yeah. Real powerhouse performance.
Yeah,
so was that your kind of that was your kind of vibe, that you were kind of always that bolshy, big, energetic character?
I think so. Yeah, always a bit tomboyish and that kind of thing. I played. I can't remember the character's name.
Oh, don't matter.
In Seven Brides.
Oh yeah.
Seven Brides. Millie.
Well, there's quite a few.
Millie in Seven Brides. Yeah.
And she was just wonderful. I loved that show. I think that one's probably my favourite out of everything that I did. But the last show we did was Witches of Eastwick.
Yes. Now this is an odd one because this was 2007.
Yeah.
I came back to do this after doing the cruises because I loved the show, it's when we got to work together again. Witches was a great show, but it was very intense. There was an awful lot going on, wasn't there?
Yeah.
You were flown. You flew.
Yes,
I've done that.
Flew.
It's painful.
Yeah, it is, especially when I'm allowed to, of course I'm allowed to say this. When I was 5 weeks pregnant.
Bloody hell.
And nobody knew.
No.
So
were you hoisted up and you were thinking, oh god.
Yeah, so that was
Did you know?
Yes, I did,
right,
yeah. Absolutely, yeah. But I was a bit nervous because of the thingy.
What's it called? The harness.
Yeah,
really rides up
fine.
on you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then I did that, and then I had my little boy.
Yeah.
In the October of that year, and when I was 8 months pregnant, I auditioned for Mabel in Mac and Mabel,
Oh, for a Brick House?
No, it was with Huddersfield Light Opera.
Oh, yes.
And I got Mabel, and I played Mabel the following April.
So you were rehearsing for that show
when I had a tiny baby.
New baby?
Yeah.
Wow.
But I've also got an incredible husband.
Yes.
And an amazing mum and dad that were just, helped. And it was wonderful. And it was as good as gold, my little boy, my little Elliot.
Yeah.
I left every time to come rehearsing. It was fabulous.
How old is he now?
And now he's nearly 15.
Jeez, yeah.
So 15 in October.
So there's a huge gap there, isn't there? It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So after you did Mac and Mabel, is that when you took a bit of a break?
I did Mac and Mabel in the April, and I did Calamity Jane in the October.
Right.
And Elliot turned 1.
Right.
I think
hell,
the night, either the Saturday before opening night, or I think it was that way around.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'd done 2 fantastic shows.
Big shows.
Within Elliot's first year.
Yeah.
And then nothing. And then
Since then.
Yeah.
But that was a conscious decision.
Wow, yeah.
Oh yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
It just felt the right time to concentrate
Ease back.
on.
Let's have a crack at it and see how you feel.
Take a breath, close your eyes, just pretend that you're unshockable, pretend you're not surprised that the sun you once bounced naked on your knee
That's all right.
wasn't grown up, oiled up, lap dancing, shirt free. Hiya mum, hello son. If we'd sat and had a heart to heart, had not my heart broken, should I turn away or should I intervene? Is it time to go or be the go-between? Be the mummy truss or am I just Pauline? Choices weighed, decisions made, mum's the word, mum's unafraid, the battle lines have just been drawn, and for my family this means war.
Yeah.
I've got to say there are parallels here with Niobe. Because Niobe did exactly the same thing. She had 3 boys, but she knew she had to ease back. And when we interview Niobe, we're going to find exactly the same story here. That's why I love this, because the musical is about this as well. It's about giving up things for your boys and what you need to sacrifice to have your family and make that family unit right.
Yeah.
For those of you who are listening or watching who are thinking, Niobe? Which one's Niobe? Niobe is playing Marge, who is our kind of sexy, saucy, social media hound temptress who's trying to steal George from the wonderful Pauline.
Yeah.
So
we're
there
talking
are
antagonist and heroine here. So, yes.
So there are parallels in terms of like the real life performers and Pauline's journey, right? And the thing that just stuck out to me was that you were still trying to kind of go through your passion and still have your own agency, your own life, and doing your own thing until you realised, oh, you know what, actually, okay, I consciously need to take a step back and do what's best, not personally just for me, but for the family as a whole, and in particular your son. And I think that's something that, do you think that it's going to be something you can really easily tap into in your portrayal of Pauline and that character arc she goes on?
Yeah, very much so. I think it absolutely came around at the right time. I've 2 boys now.
Oh, right, okay.
Elliot's 15 and my youngest Finn he'll be 11 in September.
Yeah.
So I completely and utterly devoted my life to my boys, completely.
Yeah.
My career changed, and I absolutely love my job that I do now so much, but it fits more than perfectly around my family.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win really, because I'm so blessed to be so happy in my job, but they've got to a point now where they've got their own little lives going on, and they're very independent, and I just thought, where do I fit now then? Where, what do they want me just sat at home, or do they want to know that mum's doing something fabulous as well? I mean, I could get quite emotional. Blessing my Elliot has helped me audition for the part so much. He really wanted me to get it as much as I did, truly. And I'm so pleased I got it for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, you know, they've
And
not
he gets
seen me
to
on
see
stage
you.
before,
Yeah,
obviously.
But
And
isn't he coming to
every show.
He's coming to every
yes,
show.
it's cost me a fortune.
Yes.
Bloody hell.
I mean, that's
That sounds like
commitment.
someone I know planning to come to every show.
No, I'm the lead, and I don't think I'm coming to the Saturday matinees.
You better, buddy.
Okay, fair dues, fair dues.
I'll be there prodding you with the fish fire.
But Elliot, I came up to deliver it. Was it a script or a CD or something?
script,
It was a script. I came up to deliver a script to the house.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've met the kids.
Oh.
And you can absolutely see how enthusiastic they are about the whole thing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
brilliant. Watching Elliot quoting her lines to her. He was looking at the script trying to find out how it finished because I don't think he'd had a complete script up till that moment. So what's the last line? Oh, it just ends. And it does.
Yeah.
And then Finn's they're chalk and cheese, aren't they?
Absolutely.
They're brilliant boys.
Absolutely.
Absolutely brilliant. And your husband's fantastic too.
Yeah, Finn said, I'll come and watch, but I'm going to come in once. But actually, it's coming twice.
Ah.
But he did only want to come and watch it once.
So they haven't seen you obviously do anything before, but I'm assuming that they've seen photos or maybe old videos or they've heard you sing in the shower.
Yeah.
Mum, get out!
Yeah, they've not even seen photographs because I used to have them on display.
Yeah.
But then we decorated that room and I put them all in a box in the loft, so everything's
Sounds like they need to
in
come
the
out.
loft. Yeah.
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 Well, I've got to say, mine are in the loft as well. They're
Oh,
up
really?
above us right now. Yeah. I can put my hands on them anytime I want them.
Yeah.
But the memories are actually more up here.
Yeah.
I can remember doing Hot Mikado with Nicci. I can remember the rehearsal studio. I can remember everyone who we rehearsed with. That whole company. The memories are so vivid. I remember that Diana died during
Yeah,
during
she
that
did
during
one
that
Sunday.
rehearsal.
The
One
Sunday
Sunday we came
morning.
in.
I assume they're talking about Princess Diana,
Princess
here,
Diana,
not someone
yes,
in the cast.
as was. But yeah, the
that.
emotional things that resonate
Yeah.
through you at that
Yeah.
point.
That's actually one of my first memories. Sorry to
Is it?
make
Yeah.
you feel old, but yeah, Princess Diana dying.
Yeah.
Is like we were on holiday somewhere and it was on TV and my mum and a
How
friend
old
just
were
sta-
you?
Oh, you don't want to know.
I
that,
do.
do you?
Go on.
I think it was about
It was
5.
97, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was either 4 or 5.
Were we 20?
20.
I think I just turned
24.
5. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
little gap there.
Should we take away his cake?
That's Nicci's cake.
Oh, no, no.
No, yeah, pivotal moments like that.
Yeah.
So what else happened during that show then?
We the rehearsal space was unusual. We're in sort of loft space, weren't we? And I remember it being this hot. It's a
Yeah.
very, very hot day
And
today.
it had
As you can
glass-
tell by my
was
rich
glass-
complexion.
Sloping glass
It was
roof.
sloping glass roof, so it was murder trying to rehearse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With all the people, Ross Murray, do you remember Ross?
I do remember Ross.
Well, I'm
Hello, Ross.
still in touch with Ross. Ross is marvellous. But all these names from the past start hurtling back at you. And people who we loved. I mean, they were our family at that point. We spent an awful lot of time with them.
Yeah, definitely.
And we grew up together. And so we sort of... We did the main shows after that with Huddersfield Operatic and then with Huddersfield Light and Woodhouse and the societies. We became the mainstay of all the societies. Then suddenly we went.
No,
Oh,
yeah.
it's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
It is weird how stuff like that happens, though,
Yeah.
isn't it? Because I know that one of the big things Rich has said to me is don't feel like you just have to be loyal and go and do a show with a society just because you're kind of part of the furniture. Go and do the show you want to do. And I think that by the sounds of it, you all had loyalty, but to every society.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you wanted to do every single show because it was there and it was you were meeting up with all the same kind of friends. And was that quite common that a lot of people were in every single
Yeah.
group and they just did everything because they wanted to experience it all?
Yeah, and it was almost, you got where you was doing a show, but then it almost, which to be fair, this is what I didn't like as much. You were involved in loving doing the show, but you were talking about the next already. And it
Yeah.
were like, let's just enjoy this.
Yeah.
But people were galloping on to the next, and kind of that, I suppose, took it off the moment for me a little
Absolutely.
bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is why it's just such a privilege to be back
Yeah.
and just enveloping this wonderful, wonderful show, and loving every
It
second.
was always very nice to be needed because the companies needed young people to come and take the leads, and so we said yes constantly, and we soon learned to say no.
I know that feeling. But I suppose as well, for you guys, like, because you all got on so well, and because back then you didn't have as many silly distractions as kids do nowadays. The fact that you could go out and you'd meet friends and you'd just arrange to go and do that show. Yeah. And as you say, I think the biggest thing is about being present and enjoying living in that moment.
Yes, there wasn't social media, and it would have impacted what we did. Whether it made it more fun, I don't know, but I doubt it. I doubt it could have been more fun. I only remember incredibly happy times with the gang, and it was great. And bringing it back to this show, it's great to see so many just come back and go, right, what are we doing now? Now we've had the kids, here we go, let's do this. And it's fantastic for the kids to come and watch their mum do something. It's extraordinary.
And that's the thing, isn't it? With this kind of show, you're going to see, look, we've talked about it on the podcast before, the fact that, generally speaking, the older performers are, the ones who come in, do a cameo, get shot, killed off after the first number.
Yes, that's right.
Or they end up just being like bit parts, and they have to just do costume change after costume change, and they spend more time in the dressing room getting ready for the next scene, which kind of sort of rhymes with what you've just said about getting ready for the next show, to the point where they're just kind of in the background, and people aren't necessarily going to go and see those shows because it's like, oh well, it's not about you. In this show, it's all about you. Yeah. Like, the whole show is built around Pauline and that character arc. And the nice thing is that the characters supporting that journey, you've got the Chloes, the younger characters, they're still going to get big audiences come from it. Yeah. So this is one of those shows where it'll have a massive kind of spread of generational talent, but it'll have a massive spread of generational audiences as well. Lots of people who are young all the way to old coming to see it, all to support people who they know in the show, and because it's relatable, it's set in Yorkshire, and they're all going to want to buy fish and chips afterwards.
Win-win.
Yeah,
marvellous.
absolutely win-win.
But we're going to. This is the first time we've ever been married in a show. It's the first time we've been husband and wife, or even been in a relationship, I think, in a show.
Yeah.
That's quite a rarity, actually.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, apart from Daryl and
that was a relationship that was born of madness.
It wasn't.
What was this?
This was Witches of Eastwick.
Oh, right.
I was playing. If you've seen the film, I was Jack Nicholson. Were you Cher?
I was. Oh, I don't know.
I don't know which one you were.
I don't know.
Anyway, I remember one night you had. You had the cello, and the cello actually played itself. It was one.
That's clever.
Yeah, you hooked. The trick is, sorry to break the trick, but you hooked the cello bow onto the cello, and it had a mechanism behind it that would make it play. So it looked as if I was making it play with my mind. But most of all, it was the seduction scene, wasn't it? And it's a great song. I remember one night when your microphone...
Mic?
Yes. Do you remember?
Yes,
do you remember
I do.
it? Oh, God.
What came off?
My mic came off in mid-number, didn't it?
It was you pinned it, and it was right, and you could see it was firm, but I was watching it gradually disappear. And it was Nicci's number. It was a huge number, wasn't it?
And lose that sing louder and louder and louder.
But you couldn't adjust it because you had to hold on to the cello.
Yeah. Was it underneath a wig cap, or was it just in your hair?
It was just in my hair. Yeah.
There's only one night this happened.
Yeah.
But we improvised out of it, didn't we?
Amazing. Yeah, we did. But I remember that.
I remember the line. I'd say, it's all right. I can turn you on from a distance, and then pull it back. I remember.
I think you did.
Yes.
Yeah, you think.
I was rude even then.
You were.
I never knew you had it in you, and I never knew what you could be. But you caught me by surprise, and you opened my eyes to a world for you and me. There's more than I saw in you just before, and I couldn't ever be more proud. Cause I never knew you had it in you, but I know you got it in you now. Cause I never knew you had it in you, and I never knew what you could be. But you caught me by surprise, and you opened my eyes to a world for you and me. There's more than I saw in you just before, and I couldn't ever be more proud. Cause I never knew you had it in you, but I know you got it in you now.
End of Act 1.
That's my favourite one.
Oh, do you? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you like
Yeah.
that
You
one.
can tell because you can see it on your face. Bouncing and loving it.
But again, great memories, and it'll be wonderful to see what memories we get from this show. It's going to be hopefully a lovely, long, hot summer, one we can just basking and
Hot
enjoying.
tonight.
Hot tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully the rehearsal space isn't too hot, because otherwise everyone's going to be sweating as much as the fish and chips. But
That's right.
Yeah.
How did you feel at the audition?
Well, I know how she felt, because she wouldn't even speak to me, because she was so nervous. bless
So
her.
sorry about that.
No,
Matt.
no, it's fine.
honestly.
Hang on. You apologise after everything you did at the audition as well. You just
We
go,
covered
"I'm
this.
sorry."
We've already said this.
Yeah.
I think I still am. I'm still in just this complete. Is this really happening? Feeling.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. You're on the
And-
podcast.
It is.
And
It
also,
really is.
Matt's just heard you sing all of the songs.
And it was wonderful
Nailed
for the
it.
record.
Nailed everyone. So there you go.
Wow.
Can't wait. I cannot wait to see it. But mate, that's it.
You don't get to see it. That's the point.
No.
You're in it.
Thanks for
I
that.
get to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks.
and document it and watch it and enjoy it and be there opening night, sat there, a massive grin on my face. It's going to be really, really funny as well. I'll probably
And
be
so
in
do you.
tears.
You can do it by logging on to www.thelbt.org, where you can buy tickets for By George. It's happening from September the 13th to the 16th this year.
And don't forget that if you haven't already listened to all the episodes or watched them on YouTube, you can go back and you can type in By George from Page to Stage podcast. You can watch them all, you can listen to them all, you can subscribe to the channel, you can head to richsykes.com and you can learn more about the show. And hopefully you'll get to see Nicci absolutely smash it out the park. Just make sure you get your tickets in time.
Cannot wait. Thank you for
Awesome.
coming on the podcast, Phil.
Thank you so much. I've been waiting for this moment ever since your audition. It's been great. Now you get to enjoy your cake.
I'm gonna have my cake now.
Cheers, Rich.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
Nicci.
Thank you.
See you all soon. Bye-bye.